This is our GripEdge G-FORS Socket Extractor, and to hammer it on, we are trying a new method. It is an electric hammer, and it was able to successfully hammer it on to this exhaust manifold stud. This could be good for tight access areas. Our GripEdge Socket Extractor is a straight cut non-tapered design, and that gives you bidirectional control. So we first started out by tightening, and now we can loosen it up and get this exhaust manifold stud out of here. We also have our GripEdge foreign object removal system, our G-Force technology. We include a removal rod with our socket extractors, so you thread that into the back of the socket extractor, and you're going to be able to push this exhaust manifold stud or rounded out bolt right out of the extractor. It prevents damage from happening to the extractor and saves you time from having to put it in a vise or finding some way to punch that fastener out of there. And then you can see the straight cut grooves it leaves onto that exhaust manifold stud. Our GripEdge socket extractor is also impact rated, so we're going to hammer it onto this other exhaust manifold stud. We're going to grab our impact and we're going to be able to loosen up this exhaust manifold stud. Now, a lot of extractors can loosen up a fastener or exhaust manifold stud like that, but now we're going to show you how much engagement it has in the tightening direction. So we're going to thread this back down, tighten it down so we make sure we're not to cross thread this. And then now we're going to tighten it all the way down with the impact and see if it's going to give or this exhaust manifold stud is going to snap. And you can see that this exhaust manifold stud actually snaps in this case scenario. Now we're going to use the removal rod, push it right out of the extractor, and now we're going to be able to hammer it on again. Even when there might be 3 to 4 threads left on an exhaust manifold stud, this gives you the opportunity to loosen that up. So once we get this hammered on, make sure we get it fully seated down. We're going to use the impact again to loosen it up. I'd recommend probably when you're dealing with only 3 to 4 threads, use a hand tool. We were trying to test the limits of this extractor, and we were able to loosen up this exhaust manifold stud. Our GripEdge G-FORS Socket Extractor is covered by a lifetime warranty, and we have multiple sets to choose from.